Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and in-betweeners. We are here today to do some voiceover activities. So, I'm not gonna lie, I may or may not have made a noob move where the game audio unfortunately was not on when I was fighting against this boss. Completely my fault. I think I had accidentally turned it off for some reason when I was streaming, and I just forgot to turn it on, to turn it back on, I should say, when I was getting into a boss fight. So that's my fault. But on the bright side, this does give us the opportunity to do some voiceover activities, which normally I would not do under normal circumstances. I would just make a normal video doing my review for the demo, but instead we get this opportunity, like I just said. So this demo was actually a solid demo. Now, I will not call it great. Great is reserved for demos, for games, for anything really, any form of entertainment that makes you want to replay or rewatch it a bazillion times over. The demo was not great. However, it was not trash either. Trash is something that you absolutely regret playing, you regret watching it, you wish you never did it, right? It wasn't great, it wasn't trash, it was solid. It was something that we enjoyed and we could see ourselves doing, maybe a couple of times, but not more than said couple of times. And so that's how I feel about the demo. It was a solid demo, and the reason why is pretty simple, actually. While the combat does feel good, there is potential to have headache, if you will, when it comes to the fact that your playstyle is kind of forced upon you, where it comes off as basically you kind of have to be a guard break merchant. And what I mean by that is you have to block over and over and over again, wait for your enemy to basically be out of stamina, and then punish them for having no stamina. And that's the moment where you get most of your damage in. And while that's not necessarily a bad playstyle in the grand scheme of playstyles, it is much more preferable to be able to play your own way, not have the game force you to play a way, but have the freedom to play that way if you want to, or maybe play a much more hack and slash sort of way where you're just doing what you're just getting in there, going crazy, not worrying about having to block as much, and just being a menace. Or a more stand back and just blast them with spells sort of play style. It's nice to have more options. Now, that's not to say that you don't to a degree have those capabilities. For example, with the spear, you can definitely get a lot more hits in. With your javelin ability, you can just throw that javelin. If you see those yellow diamonds on the screen above my health bar, those are your javelins that you can throw. So technically, there is some ability to do some distance. There is some ability to get in there and hack and slash away. However, at the end of the day, 9 out of 10 times, you're kind of forced into this guard break merchant mentality of, hey, I just gotta block, 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 wait for him to be low on stamina, and then punish him. Which, once again, it's not bad, but you prefer to have the full freedom to do everything possible at all times. And so that would have made it better. But, with that being said, once again, it was a fun boss fight. Just learning his moves, learning when to block him, learning when to dodge here and there, and learning when I can get some nice clean hits without getting punished, get a couple hits, back out, get a couple hits, back out, block, 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 get a couple hits, back out. That sort of rhythm of things. It was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. But I think for me personally, it's the type of game that I would wait until it comes out on sale before I would get it. Because what you don't want to do is be fighting some of these later game bosses that I've not gonna lie, I've kind of spoiled myself on some late game bosses where they have 3 phases of full health bars, and I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, if I'm just thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like if I'm playing that and it's not even the final boss, brother, OMG. I don't know if that's for me if I'm paying $60. But if I'm paying $20 and maybe you finish the game, maybe you don't. You're not feeling as bad about it because you're like, okay, I only paid $20 for this. It was on sale. Boom. No big deal. But you're paying a full price for the game and then you don't finish it. You're like, oh man, there goes, 60 buckaroos or however much the full price is. So that's how I feel about this game from playing the demo. It seems like a fun game, but it also seems like the type of game you want to wait till it's on sale to play. That way, if you do come across a boss fight that you just keep getting walloped by, you keep getting dog walked and body slammed and beat up by, you don't feel too bad about not finishing it. Which is, my mentality from playing the demo. But once again, all in all, it was a solid demo. I do enjoy the look of the game. I do enjoy the combat of the game and just the overall feel. And even the story is kind of interesting. So give it a solid. But with that being said, what do you guys think? If you guys played the demo, let me know. And until then, stay safe, stay blessed, and I hope to see all you wonderful people next time. Peace.